Good evening, good evening, good evening. My name is Nanette Buchanan, and I'd like to welcome you to iPen Visions interviews and conversations with myself and Felice Reeves. We are into our almost a month now getting back onto the show. And I just want to introduce my co-host to you, Felice Reeves. The two of us together have come up with an idea to help out not only the community, but the literary world. We want to help the literary industry with helping our authors, not only our old authors, but our new authors as well. Or I shouldn't say old, seasoned authors, as well as our new authors. I won't say amateurs, I'll say new authors. Sometimes we don't know what to do, where to do, and how to do. So we bring on different people to get a different perspective of what's going on. We're also interested in all entrepreneurs that touch our community, touch our literary world, as well as touch the world that we're reaching out to. So we do that every Monday at 6:30. We do a live podcast with us. If you'd like to be interviewed, you can send the information to my email address. And what we'll do is we will make sure that you get a chance to put in an ad, put in articles, get subscriptions, do what you need to do to be a part of our little arena. We have, just a little, little thing to do. And you would send all your information to ipendesigns@gmail.com. And get that across to us so that we can find out exactly what you need and how we can help fulfill it. We also have a magazine, iPen magazine, and we ask that you join that as well. We can do an article for you as well as ads. And now I'm gonna turn it over to my co-host Felice. Let folks know who you are.
Hello, everyone. As Nanette said, I am Felice Reeves, and I am super happy to be here once again. And yes, can you believe it has been a month that we've picked back up, and we're off to not only a phenomenal success, but also each author that we've spoken to thus far has just been phenomenal in their own right. I consider myself a celebrator of entrepreneurs. I love the creativity, the drive, the energy, the thriving of entrepreneurship, and just love having these conversations with people that have birthed not only a business but a book as well, which is crazy, phenomenal. Miss Nanette, of course, has penned many books, and I have yet to do my first one, but I'm sure at some point we're going to get started on that. So without further ado, I'll hand it back to you so we can get to our latest, most wonderful guest that we have tonight.
Well, tonight we have someone special to me, and I say that these people are special not because I think I have this great big audience of supporters, but some are truly, truly supporters in what I have done in the past, what I have done in asking questions. I was annoying in the beginning and asking all kind of questions, and what have you done and how have you done it, and ooh, what is that, and what do we do that with that, how do we promote? And this woman instantly became like a sister to me because she gave me all sorts of promotional ideas, and she does all kind of creative ideas to help us as authors promote. But we're going to talk about that in depth. But I want you to meet my sister in pen. And I call her that not because I call everybody my sister, because some folks just don't know what they're doing. Okay. But this lady knows what she's doing, and of course she does. She's a Leo, and she's got that in her. She's got that drive in her. So I want to present to you my sister friend. Our guest tonight is author and creator Debra Owsley, and bringing her to the stage. Good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening. How are you, sister friend?
I'm great tonight.
Hello.
I mean,
Okay, we have a frozen screen there.
you
Well,
can hear me.
let me oh, there you go. There you go. Can you hear us?
I can hear you.
Okay, all right. But we can't hear you. You're
Okay.
coming and going.
Can you hear me now?
Now I can hear you.
Okay, great. So how are you ladies tonight?
We're good. We're
Okay.
good.
It's a
We're
pleasure.
good.
Wonderful.
Thank you for having me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then that you made me blush. You know, yes, we are sisters from another mister, but we've been friends for years and we do share a birthday. So yeah, we're connected forever.
Yes, yes, yes. And I am happy about that. Well, what I want you to do is I want you to tell everyone your journey, because it's a little different than the journey of the pad to pen, and then I promote, and then I do this, and then I do that. Your journey is a little different. So explain to our audience how your journey is.
Okay. First, I am a hairstylist. I've been a hairstylist for almost 40 years. And what I noticed is my customers would get, when they go under the dryer to dry their hair with the rollers, nobody uses rollers anymore. But anyway, they would go under the dryer to dry their hair, but all of them read under the dryer. So I said one Christmas, okay, I'm going to make bookmarks for everybody. I'm going to have some really great little quote or something on the front, my information on the back. I know they'll keep it because they're always reading. And plus, it's something that they could use. Fast forward, I gave the bookmarks out for Christmas. And one of the customers that I had no idea she was an author. None. And she said, can you make me a couple of hundred? And I'm looking at her like, couple of hundred. And she said, yeah, and I'm thinking to myself, oh, she's going to give them out as Christmas gifts. I didn't really, think much of it. Can you put my information on it? I'm like, what information? She said, my book information. I was like, huh? It ended up being author Marcia King Gamble. So she explained to me that she was going to, I think it was Romantic Times, and they have a goodie room, and the authors put goodies in this room, and the readers go pick up all the swag in the room. And I was like floored, first of all, that she was an author, and I did not know, because I don't ask people their business. If you come get your hair done, you don't want to be grilled. You don't want to do all that.
Mhm.
So I did those for her, and they came out really, really great. And I started having other authors contact me after that. And at first I was like, okay, this is a cute little sideline thing, but I read so much that, and at that time I was only buying hardbacks, and they were like $25, $22 at that time. So I was like, well, it'll support my book habit. So that's, I just, it snowballed into that. Then again, I just never realized that authors have all these events. And then fast forward, Donna Hill, who is a client of mine as well, she invited me to the National Book Club conference. Girl,
Mhm.
you talking about book heaven? I don't think my mouth closed the whole time I was there. And I was just walking around in total awe that there was all these authors and all these readers. it had to be about 500 people there that first time I went. And I said to myself, then next year I'm going to be here. So the following year I did have a table, and I've been doing it ever since. So it's like 19 years I've been doing it now.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And now the thing about it is that Deborah neglected to tell you is it's not just you go to her table and you get a bookmark.
Mm-mm.
Mhm.
You don't just go to her table and get something that you can give to your audience or something that you can order that she will create for you to give to your audience. That's not the gem that's at the table. The gem that's at the table is she's our spy and she sees what you're missing. And she comes to your table. And then when you go to her table, she said, I noticed you did not have this, or you did not have that.
You
You
know,
need to dress your table because your audience can use this. I tell
Mhm.
you that in the beginning of my journey, that was like precious gold
Mhm.
because I didn't know what readers may, okay, they may need bookmarks. You're right.
Yeah.
They may need, more than your business card. You're right. What
Mhm.
else can I do? And this was such a refreshing way to do it because she's not just giving you the paper bookmarks. They are well dressed. They're beautiful. They're beautiful.
they're made to last forever. I mean, I've had people tell me they've had them for over 10 years, 15
Oh
years.
wow.
I am very observant. Leo's, please tell it. I
Mhm.
see everything. I might not say it, but I see it. And it depends on of course, how you approach the people, because some people get really upset when you tell them, if you did this, this might happen, or if you might, get more traffic this way, or you might get more people to your table. And I have seen people's table where they just throw some books on top of the table, no tablecloth, no nothing, and they expect to sell out. And when people keep walking past them, they don't understand why. It's like you got to dress up. You dress up to go to work, you dress up to go to church, dress up your table. That's something else I do. I do something called a table in a box. And what that is I find, whatever your book is about, I build a theme around, your book, and I build a table and I mail you a box, and it has everything you need from tablecloths, bookmark, decorations, whatever I I see, because I'm very visual. Whatever I see, I think that you'll attract more people to your table. That's what I'm going to send you. I'm going to send you a picture of how you should set it up. And baby, I'm telling you, the sales just jump, because you cannot just throw some books on the table and expect people to walk over to you. And you're sitting there all mad because nobody's walking over to you. It's like, I wonder why that's happening. You know, I wonder, you know, um,
Mhm.
there's,
And that's a part of your I had the banner up there. That is a part of your uh what is it? Litversations?
liquor stations, yeah.
Litversations. That's a part of what you have there where you can go there and you can get these things and you can see these things and you can dress up your I like I said again, I met Deborah very early on in my writing journey, and she never had to come to me to tell me about dressing it up, but she would always tell me about additives, how to add something. Well, how many people do you have doing this and how many people do you have doing that? And the conversation is not an invasive conversation.
No,
It's a conversation, and it's not even a direct conversation or a teaching conversation. It's more or less one of those conversations where you say to yourself, if I don't, I'm going to lose out. And if I do, I can gain. So why not at least try? At least try.
I
And
also
that works with one book, it can work with 20 books.
I also emphasize the need to have an auxiliary product, meaning something that you can sell.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of times, people may not have $15 or $20 for a book, but they may have $5 they want to spend with you because they like your personality or whatever. And you brand that item, you sell it to them for $5, and they come back and get your book later. Okay, so there's many ways to reach people and approach people. And like I said, I am really big on what readers see. Like the title of my book is Think Like an Author, Act Like a Fan. I need you to sit on the other side of that table and think, okay, when you were just fangirling, when you were just a fan, what did you see that these authors did that you loved? You had to, sit on the other side of the table. And I encourage a lot of authors to go to book signings and, go to book festivals, go to conventions. Don't go as an author, go as a reader. Observe what's going on and look at the reactions that all these readers are having. That's the reactions you want. When people are all excited to see whatever author, I'm not calling any names, but that's what you want. But how did they achieve that? Okay. How do they, do they have a mailing list? Do they have contests? Are they on social media talking back to their readers? There's so many ways to approach these readers that are pretty much budget friendly, really budget friendly. And that's one of the main themes of my book, is things that you can do on a budget, because authors are not rich. Some authors, it costs them more to produce a book than they will make in their entire lifetime. Because, editing is not cheap. Formatting is not cheap. Book cover design is not cheap. So you have to figure out ways to, make that money back. So you have to get those readers to buy the book. And, one thing I always tell authors, that because it irritates me, if you tell me buy my book, I'm not buying your book. I'm not doing it. If you give me reasons to buy your book, I'm going to buy your book. But if you are in my inbox or you're in my email saying buy my book, you lost me. I'm done. So you have to find other methods of approach. I call it novel approaches. You have to be creative. You are an author. Use your words. Hey, call a fan. Make a phone call. That's free. If you know a book club is going to be doing your book for the month, ask them, can you Zoom in? Talk to the book club president and say, hey, I want to surprise the club. Let me pop in. There's so simple little things that you can do. It won't cost you anything but a little bit of time. And that's what readers remember. They remember experiences. They remember the connection. They remember what you did to make them laugh. So you have to be, again, creative and see where, what your niche is and where the readers are, because every group is not the same, of course. So some are very staunch, some are like hilarious. So you have to kind of feel your way around and have different approaches to each, reader.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. So that's some great information, because one of the questions I was going to ask you was that what are 3 things first? There's probably 2 parts, so I'm going to just ask this one part first. What are 3 mistakes authors make?
Buy my book. That's the first one.
Okay.
If you tell me, I'm not going to do it. If you ask me or if you give me reason to, I'll buy it. The second thing is expecting people to do. On social media, again, I see a lot of authors saying, share this, share that. Why are they going to share it? What's in it for them? everybody has that what's in it for me. Everybody has that in them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so if I was going to ask you to share something, I'm going to reward you.
Mm-hmm.
It could be a bookmark, it could be
Mm-hmm.
an excerpt, it could be something, something.
Mm-hmm.
The third thing I would say is know who your VIPs are. Know know who your most valuable people are, your most valuable readers, because those are the ones that are your team. They're your team. They're the ones that share all the time. They're the ones that pre-order. They are the ones who are the most supportive. And those VIPs need to be treated like VIPs.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Those are valuable points. Thank you so much for that. I, I wanted to ask you in the beginning though, where did your love of books stem from? How did you get started? You know, just loving to read and then evolving into. You told us a little bit of how you came to be this, and I love that you are a person that pays attention, and that is a mark of a gift. That's a gift to pay attention to what's going on around you and then seeing a need and addressing it. So, how did you get started with books and reading and loving them?
My best friend since third grade, and we are still best friends. Her mother would bring home books that the girls at her job were sharing. And when she finished reading the book, and we were like around 15, 16, then she would let us read the book. The first one was Other Side of Midnight, Sidney Sheldon.
Hmm.
Loved the
Mm-hmm.
book. And I was like, wow, this is good stuff, spicy and, all that.
Yeah.
Then I started reading Jackie Collins.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa. And like I said, we're 16, 15, and I'm like, dang, this is life. I mean, Jackie Collins was awesome. And then what happened was I realized every month in Essence Magazine, they had a list of Black authors because I didn't
Mm-hmm.
know a whole lot of Black authors when I was 16. Okay. And I would take that magazine every month to the bookstore and get at least 3 of those books. My little allowance, just here we go, and to the library. Some of them were not in the library, but I would go get those Black authors, and then it was like I could, I could have. I love Jackie Collins, but I love us more. It was like they were telling our stories. They were saying things that we could relate to,
Mm-hmm.
our experiences. So that was like, oh my God. And we would read, read, read. So I have been a huge reader since I was 16 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And you were asked about being observant. I'm a New Yorker. You have to be observant. You have to be on the train, walking home. You have to know what's around you. So you just pay attention to a lot of detail. You know, um, I saw this program once, and this guy came in and snatched this girl's bag. Everybody in that audience saw somebody different. And I was like, how could you all be sitting there and see something different? And it's, one person said the guy was Black, the other guy said he was white, the other, so it was like, I just like to see, observe, watch, and just pay attention to things. That's all. We lost Felice.
Yeah, I see. I see. The internet does us no good sometimes, but we're gonna work with it. We're gonna work with it.
But
Um,
uh-huh.
some of the things that you're talking about are things that I think some of the authors, once they become what they consider on another, level, once they become that different kind of author, I
Mm-hmm.
think what they try to do is they try to mimic what they see the more progressive authors do. They try to mimic what they do. I'm going to go to the standard publisher. I'm not going to self-publish, or I'm going to self-publish and never look at book signings and going to these book events. Or I'm going to, they look at things according to what they think others may have. And one of the things that I always tell people when they ask me, don't go by the cover. It's the same thing as reading the book. You can't go by the cover, because what I present to you may not be actual. So in your, your journeys with meeting new authors and meeting different people, what advice do you give to these people that are looking to be the next? I always say this to my son, because he's into production and comedy, and I tell him all the time, there is no other Tyler Perry. There's one Tyler Perry. There is no other, um, great authors. You are who you are, and stay in your lane. But I know that that's not the way to say it. What way would you give advice for people that are jumping in a hoop that they have no idea how big that hoop is? It will never touch your waist where you can do the hula and dance and everything, because it's a big hoop.
Everybody thinks that this business is an overnight success. If it's an overnight success, it's very, very rare. My number one thing to say to people is be authentic, be yourself. You are not going to have her journey. You're not going to have his journey. You're going to have your own experience. Yes, they were lucky enough to get into traditional publishing, but are they making the money that you have the possibility of making? Because there's an agent involved. There's that money that you get up front, that advance, you got to pay that back. There's so much that goes along with it. You have to look at the big picture and do your research. It's like, for God's sakes, you can make more money probably. I mean, I'm not saying don't try, but the rejection letters and, I think it was Bernice McFadden said she had, like, I don't know, 16 or something, maybe even more, for the book Sugar. And that book is in its 20 or 21st year or something like that. And I believe she self-published that book. Okay. When it first came out, it got picked up down the road, but she had to do it herself, and look how successful she's become since then. Be authentic. Just go out there, do the work, have a good editor. Oh my God. I have seen books that it's like they just wrote it up and just printed it out and didn't fix anything. Have a good editor, do your research, do these book events, because these book events is where you are face to face with your readers, and have fun. Don't make it all about business all the time. Have some fun. Nanette, I don't know if you remember at Sharon Lucas's event, and I think Kimberly Lawson Roby was the featured speaker, and she was down there doing the wobble with us, and we was like, Kimberly, because she's so classy, and we didn't think she would, honey, she was getting it. I was like,
yes,
we had so much fun.
Yes, we did. Yes, we did.
She is the top.
Yes.
So she's still authentic. She's still herself. She recognizes who her readers are, and she just has fun with all the rest of us.
And that's important. I think that in the journey, I did a speaking event Saturday, and I explained to them, the same way you have energy for that first one that you want to do well, and I got a book. You're the same way when you have 10.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
And I can honestly say I put that first book out there in 2007. I wrote book 4 of that book this year. And that story was done. For me, it was all right. I'm putting the story out there. I'm done with it. But the audience kept coming back. saying, well, what's going on with those people? We want that book. So this year I said, okay, they didn't say anything. I'm going to leave it alone. And I had a whole group contact me and say, hey, it's time for the next part. And I'm like, no, these people are done. And then they went on to explain to me, no, because so-and-so was doing this. And so once you hook an audience, you have to be, like you said, authentic, and you have to be real with them. And you know how I am. I've always been that person that just, hey, this ain't happening. And then I get people that say, no, you need to look at that and connect with people that are authentic. Stop connecting with or looking to connect with the stars.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm on Earth. Let me connect with some people that are on Earth and climbing. I don't want to reach for the star, and I don't know what the star knows yet. Exactly. I still got a part of my journey to go before I learn all of those hidden doors and all of that, those valleys.
I just did a bookmark, and the bookmark says, you keep trying to take people to the top, and they don't even want you on the top.
Right. Right.
You know, you got to be careful what you wish for. You know, do your homework. And I have to say this about your sequel. Eric Jerome Dickey wrote a book. It was a Christmas book. The sequel came out 15 years later, made bestsellers list. For the life of me, I can't think of the name of it, but everybody wanted to, to know what happened after. And what kills me, and like our book club, the readers remember more than the authors do.
Yes.
So like, no. So. And I'm like, yeah, that's right. What happened next?
Yes. Yes, you are so right. You are so right. Because when they start pointing to those characters, and I was like, well, that's not what that's not. And they said, oh, yes, it was. What am I going to say?
And I also love when the readers have epiphanies that the authors didn't even see.
Yes.
Love that.
Yes. Yes.
Like, that to me is like the icing on the cake. And that's one of the questions in the game that I had created, because there's like, sometimes authors are writing the story, but there's such a moral to the story that the author didn't even see, but everybody else caught it. Everybody else caught it.
Awesome. So now that you've mentioned that, tell us about your game.
Okay. I have a game called Literations, and this is the game. And what it is 70 questions about whatever book you're reading. It could be any genre. It could be nonfiction. It can be a children's book, because when I was developing the game, I had teachers from 2 high schools test it out, and they would give them as homework assignment questions and book discussion questions in class. And, sometimes when you're at a book club, or the questions keep getting asked every time you have a meeting, and it gets kind of boring. What did you think about this character? What did you think about that character? And it gets boring. So I was like, if I was going to be the facilitator, what questions would I ask? So I wrote them out, and I decided that I wanted to make it into a game. So I wrote out 70 questions, and it's thought-provoking, and it makes you really think, and it makes you go into a discussion. I call it literation. That's what the game is called, literation. And you might ask 3 questions, and the whole dynamic of the book club meeting changes because of those 1 or 2 answers. You have a round table, and everybody has an opinion of that particular question or that part in the book. Or when you have authors there, you can ask. I have questions in there for authors as well. And also, a lot of the authors that I work with use those questions in the back of the book as book discussion questions. So, it's just, like I said, a conversation starter, and it just keeps the momentum, because, sometimes it gets like, the same 5 questions, and then people go eat and drink. You want to discuss the book. You want to have a good discussion. So that's why I did literations.
And can they get literations at the website? They
Yes,
can also order it there.
me on social media. Either way.
Okay. I think that that's a dynamic way to keep things
Yeah.
going. And a lot of times, the author doesn't want to give up everything. You want to try to have it where they ask you more questions than you give them more information.
Exactly. Like
So having the game is a perfect way to do that. It's
some
perfect
people really
exercise.
don't know how to facilitate a book club discussion. I mean, I have heard many of them because, like I said, we have one here. I've been on some online. They ask the same 5 questions, and I know several of the people who have purchased, because Liquidations is 7 years old now. They're still using them, even though they've gone through all the questions. They it's like I said, you're shuffling and you're just getting each book. You're going to get a different answer, of course. Each author, you're going to have a different discussion. So it keeps on giving. It keeps on going.
That's great.
I
Yeah.
love that. That is awesome. So how did you come up with the name for it? So is it lit for literature or lit like in, hit thing now, lit?
It's lit as in literature, but versations. I wanted to be, I wanted it to be conversation, but literations I thought had a little niche to it, had a little edge to it, made it more interesting.
Love it. Love it.
Yes. Very, very innovative. Because the thing about it is, you get so tired of using the same language to try to explain what you're doing or how you're doing. That's a perfect opportunity for an author to even give it as an extra gift. When you're looking at doing gifts and doing things, and you're dealing with a book club, why not give the book club a gift?
Exactly.
You give the book club a gift, or you give a reader a gift, someone that's looking to start a book club.
Or a contest. And there's so many. I do a lot of things. Like I said, I do boxes even. I do have several authors that say, okay, this is I'm going to this book club, please send a gift. And a lot of the times if it's 7 people, they want 7 gifts, so each one will have a gift. And I think that's so sweet. I really think that's really thoughtful. But think about it. If they're buying your books constantly, if they're supporting you and you're going to see them, it's not you don't go to anybody's house empty-handed. So you send some swag, you send some goodies, you send a little something. It could be a keychain, it could be anything, but everybody gets something.
And not only that, the thing about it is you have to form a relationship, because it used to be a time when I started that you were looking for people to just give you a review. Hey, can you send a review? Well, Amazon has made it where it's almost impossible to send a review unless you buy from Amazon.
I know.
So the thing is that if I'm taking the books to the book club and they're buying it directly from me, that means that they can't go on Amazon and make a review because they have not purchased through Amazon.
You know what else I saw? I also saw if you haven't spent $50 in that month with Amazon, they won't let you post a review.
Really?
Wow. I didn't know that. Wow.
Yeah, it makes it real difficult. I found out that a lot of my reviews, other than my editor, who is generous, he's a little crazy, but I love him madly. I really do. He'll give me a review as he's reading. As he's editing, he's reading along and he's telling me, oh my gosh, look, you need to do this and you need to do that. But the thing about it is he's reviewing as he goes along. I mean, and I love it because it makes the book all that better, because of course I take his review in consideration as we're doing the edits. So it makes it really, really fantastic for me. But that's one person. You know what I mean? That's one person. When you talk about having a review from a book club, it used to be that was phenomenal, that you had a book club actually send in a review.
Especially 7 people in the book club.
Exactly. You got a good basis for review. So now you get people that look at my Amazon page and go, well, you don't have many reviews there. Well, guess what? They don't let many reviews go on the page.
Exactly.
So
the that's a pet peeve of mine. And, you know, it's been said that self-published authors never sell more than 250 books, which is a lie.
That's a lie.
That's
Yeah.
a lie. I've sold over 500 books, not including the ones on Amazon. Okay, but the 500 books are not going to be able to be posted as a review on Amazon. Directly from me, from different events, different, different platforms, and it hurts. It does hurt because on Amazon, I think I have 21 reviews, and I've sold way more books.
Yes.
More books than that.
Right. And not only that, the thing about it is I tell people all the time, some people that follow you all the way up, they follow you. And then when you stop writing, they wait for you to do your next book. So if you're not constantly writing, you lose them as well because of the simple fact that they're going on to read someone else's work while they're waiting for your work. But that does not, like you said, it does not indicate fairly what you've already done. Right. It doesn't give a fair indication at all. So what do we tell those new writers that are looking for those fantastic reviews?
More than likely, I'm sorry to say, it's not going to happen. Okay, you can probably I would do graphics and put the graphics. I would ask for the review. Some people say, well, I don't know how to write a review. You don't have to do a thesis. I like the book. I love the book, what you liked about it, which, whatever. And then send it to me. I'll make a graphic. I'll put it on social media. I'll put it somewhere, anywhere on my website, whatever. It's still a review. People still catch, still see those things. You cannot, and if you have a website, put it on your web. Put it on your, please. It's like God said, people just don't want to keep a website. I don't understand that because that's your domain, that's your space. When Facebook, what was it, a couple of months ago, had that big glitch and everybody was losing their mind, like the sky is falling because Facebook had a glitch. It's like, well, you have a website? You have an email address?
That's just one outlet. Yeah, that's just one outlet.
And
it's
then,
like, stop freaking out.
So I was going to say as well, if you do have a website, you should be asking your followers, reviewers to put a Google review out there as well. There's many ways to capture those reviews. And just as you said, have them send it to you in an email or have them go to whatever social media you are and put that review in there.
The library. There's a lot of other places that a review can be posted. But like I said, you can't, Amazon is not the end all be all. It really isn't.
Exactly.
Everybody loves Amazon. Everybody uses Amazon. Not even, like I said, people buy directly from me because they want it autographed. Or they buy it directly from me because they know I send goodies when I send books. So you're gonna get a little happy mail in there with that book. So and plus, if you're buying it from me, I get to capture your email address. I get to capture your information. If you're buying from Amazon, I don't know who you are. So by me selling the books, straight from my website or straight from social media or at these book events, I get to capture all of your information, put you on my mailing list. So when I want to send out a newsletter, hey, I'm having a sale on this, and this, I'm sending it directly to you. I don't have to go through a third party.
Right. And the thing about it is we have to remember too, as a beginning author, once again, just as you said, there's so much that the beginners of anything just don't know. They just don't know where to go and they just don't know what to do. And you can easily get pulled in to these short scams, these things that are not going to be. And that's the purpose of us having this interviews and conversations. We're bringing people to you who have done it, people that have been there, the beginners that are learning as they go. We're not closing the door to the beginners either. We're looking at the fact that we want people to come on and tell us about your journey. Tell us the mistakes you may have made. Tell us how you corrected some of the things that you have done, the avenues you would not venture because you learned a lesson. You know, those are the things that we want to try to help entrepreneurs as well as, you know, our literary family understand that we're trying to help you, and we're not trying to help you in saying, okay, look, in order for you to look at this now, you got to pay me a registration fee of $125 to register for the podcast before you can see it. No, we're not saying that. We're telling you, come on and get this free information. Go to www.litversations.com and feed into something that's going to help you. There's the book. There's the book.
Get the book.
There's
now,
the book.
This book is not going to tell you how to write your book, edit your book, none of that. It's going to tell you how to market your book. Like I said, market it on a budget. Because, you know, I have one graphic that I post a lot, and it says, I finished my book. Now what? If you don't start marketing the book, nobody's going to know you have a book.
Right.
You start marketing your book from the time you start. When the editor got the book, that's when I started putting out information about the book. You know,
and understand that your audience has to have a relationship with you.
Absolutely.
Because if I'm going to send you my money to buy the book, I'm waiting for the book to come out. I understand that it's a pre-sale. As a matter of fact, I'm going through the pre-sale stage now. You put out a post that says it's a pre-sale. Have that type of relationship where you can get in touch with that author in an email or on their website and say, hey, it's been 6 months. Because you know what I'm saying, Deb. You know what I'm saying. That you get some people that get that $20 and that $30 and you never get your book. But have a relationship with the author, not a relationship with Amazon, not a relationship with Barnes and Noble or Borders or wherever you go. Have a relationship with the author where you can send an email. You can go to their website.
Absolutely.
You can go there and find out, hey, what's the glitch? Rather than you get the glitch and then you go out and badmouth the author.
Exactly.
The author might not even know that you did not get the book.
Exactly.
So
I've mailed out packages of bookmarks, and I'm talking a couple of $100 where, you know, and I didn't keep the tracking number. I don't do that anymore. You know, you get the receipt in the post office, and I just keep it. A couple of times, they left the package on the front doorstep and it was stolen. I don't know if it was stolen, but she said she didn't get it. It was my responsibility to replace that package. I just felt like it was my job. And if she hadn't said to me, I didn't get my package, how would I have known? So yeah, you have to have the follow through. I track every package I send. Okay, it should be but to your house. I sent a package this morning. They said it'll be in Atlanta by Wednesday. You know, I'm tracking that package because that package is important. She's got an event. It's got to be there in time for the event. So it's important that you do the follow up. It's very important. And I also ask, when you get the package, please let me know. Because sometimes they'll get the package and you see that it was delivered, but they haven't said I received it. They don't say anything. So you're sitting there like, oh my God, did it get stolen again? You know, so you have to have some kind of follow up.
So what advice do you have for the authors that are self-publishing or maybe even have a publisher? I know this is kind of like a basic question, but when you order books for copies for yourself, you know, how do you think that most people should manage? I know it depends on what the book is and who your audience is, but manage, their inventory, if you will. So, as you were saying, there are downfalls for Amazon. There's not downfalls, pros and cons. Let's just say that, because I don't want to
Mm-hmm.
be here, being negative about any avenue that a person chooses. But what do you think should be like a good ratio of, even if you're published, a self-publishing versus, leaving it up to the publisher to do the things?
I like to keep books in the house. The reason why I do that is because I never know when somebody's going to email me and say they want a book. And I don't want to wait for either Ingram or Amazon. I had to go order the book and then wait for it to come. I don't want to do that and pay all that extra postage. I don't want to do that.
Mm-hmm.
So,
And not only that, the thing about it is too that you should always have books on hand, because
always.
you don't know when they're going to go down. Sometimes their production line goes down.
And then
Sometimes
also, there's been times where somebody, like a library said, okay, well, so-and-so didn't show up. We need an author. Can you come? Can I bring my books and sell them? Of course you can. I've got to have at least 20 books to take with me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And that too becomes costly, because you got to remember, if you're the striving author, you can't carry, like, people look at me and think that I'm crazy, but I'm only carrying 5 to 10 books per title.
But you have a lot of books.
But the thing is, I have a lot of books.
Right.
Now, one of the things that I try to tell authors is, and they look at me and say, well, you should carry just your latest couple of books. But I went to a book signing in Baltimore. I'll never forget it. My husband rode my back for a month about it. We went there, and one young lady that I still don't know who she was. I thank her every time I think about it. I thank God sent her. But the thing was, she must have told everybody in Baltimore about this book. Ironically, guess what book I had left home?
The one that she was recommending.
It was not the newest book. It was not the book that was, like even the last book. It was a book that I had written a while ago.
Mm-hmm.
But she told, I cannot lie to you, everybody that came to the table, some of them didn't even know the title. They just knew what was on the cover.
That happened to me one time. I was doing an event at the library, and I had a bookmark table, but the author sitting next to me had written this book that was off the chain. It was a combination of Indecent Proposal and The Devil's Advocate. I'm not going to call her name. Anyway, but that book was so good. So we were sitting there discussing the book. The people that were passing by the table, who were like browsing, my table, browsing her table, was like, what book is this? So I told them the name of it. She didn't have that book. So it was like, what do you mean you don't have that book? It's like, how could you not have that book? That book was great.
Yes.
She was upset with me for bringing it up. It's like, girl, I bet you they're going to be ordering that book.
Ordering the book, right. And then you as the author have to depend on the fact that this person is going to go back, as Debra said, and remember you to order the book. So just having the business card and not having a bookmark or not having something else to remind them who you are, that becomes an asset, because now they know I have wristbands, I have bookmarks, I have different things that they can equate it to, rather than just having the sheet of paper that says, hey, contact me, because that sheet of paper is going to go somewhere. It may be the placeholder for their coffee, and once the coffee spills on it, they can't read the writing anymore. So you need something. Yeah.
That's when you get some good swag. You get some coasters. You get something that's brand that is reusable. It's not disposable.
Right. Right.
I have a thing about cheap pens. I can't stand them. Okay. Every author has pens.
I don't.
I don't like cheap pens. I can't stand them. I will not pick it up. And if that's all you have with your contact information on it, trust me, I'm not. I I'm sitting here playing with this pen right now. You see this pen? But it's like it, there's so many ways you can brand yourself. You know,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
um, like you said, the wristbands. You can do coasters.
Hmm.
You a lot of my authors right now are doing character lookalikes, meaning like they give what the characters in the book look like,
Mm-hmm.
a nice quote next to it from the book or a synopsis, and then on the other side has all their information, or they're doing magnets. They're doing something that is lasts forever. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I,
Mm-hmm.
like I said, the bookmarks that I do, they're laminated. They're like I said, some of this is one that I love, and she is gonna last forever. This is laminated. Okay, you have you can have your book cover or a character on the front, your information on the back. They're going to use this bookmark in every book they use. Every book they read,
Mm-hmm.
they're going to use that
Yeah.
bookmark, and it's going to constantly
Absolutely.
remind them of your last book, or let me go see what Nanette is doing. Let me go. They're gonna. It's a constant reminder. You got to think of ways to be creative. Like I said, it could be a keychain. It could be
Mm-hmm.
whatever. My great grandson collects those rubber bracelets. He's got an arm full of them. It's like, why are you wearing all of them at one time? Well, this one I got from there, and this one is like he had he's remembering the experience he got when he
Mm-hmm.
got that bracelet. So I hate them, but because he's got a whole arm, like I said, full of them. Um, but he loves them because he loves the experience he had when he was getting them. So I'm big on giving people experiences.
Mm-hmm.
I'm big on that, and that's what you got to
Mm-hmm.
give them to get their attention. And like I said earlier in the conversation, is that you got to know who your VIPs are. You have to identify who they are. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes I have seen people walk up to somebody's table and buy 12 books because they were buying for their book club.
Mm-hmm.
And look at them, you wouldn't think, you would, how authors can be. They can, you know, and then all of a sudden, oh, you grinning and smiling because they want 12 books.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And I had told
Mm-hmm.
that girl, the one I'm thinking of, I said, you know what? You better be as happy to see that girl than you are to see her money.
Mm-hmm.
Because you don't know who she is. You can't count her pocketbook. She came in there looking like nothing and bought 12 books. Now that's
Mm-hmm.
when you start smiling. No, you smile before she makes that pulls that money out of that purse.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta be approachable. You gotta be nice to people. You know.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Well,
Yeah.
it has been an interesting evening. I must say that I enjoyed this conversation, and I think that our audience will enjoy knowing that it's not just the literary part of it. It's also the part of making sure that your audience gets what they're supposed to get. And like you said, you're thinking like an author, but you got to be a fan. What do you want when you go to purchase books? how do
Mhm.
you how do you go about that?
How do you
So
connect back to your audience?
exactly, I
Yeah.
thank you, Deborah. We want to thank you for being here. Felice, you got any closing remarks?
This has been extremely enlightening, and I cannot wait to get my hands on this lit versations because because I have several authors in my life, and now this is a perfect gift for them.
Thank you.
And so thank you so much for that. So I will be ordering, and I want to see the questions for myself as well because, as you said, it's good to be creative, and I applaud you for your creativity. And again, using your gift in such a way to help authors because marketing, as you know, is the precursor to sales. So, and marketing is the activity of not only your audience getting to know you and your product first, and then and building that relationship as opposed to doing the sales with just this the transaction.
Exactly.
So thank you for all you're doing
Thank
in the
you.
marketing realm, because I feel too you are truly a celebrator of
Yeah.
authors.
I love them.
Yes, you're.
They're my
Yeah,
buddies. I
I
mean,
could tell.
and they know I love them. You know,
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
so
Mm-hmm.
I'm there. And not to steal a line from Misery, I'm your biggest fan. If I love you,
Right.
oh, I'm gonna come fix your table. I'm gonna say, listen,
Yeah.
we can do this and that. I'm gonna, I'm gonna
Yeah.
help you. I want to
Yeah.
see you. People who want to see you succeed help you succeed.
Yes, they do.
Yes.
Yes, they do.
Yes,
And
they
you can
do.
get in touch with Deborah at www.litversations.com, as well as www.litversations@gmail.com. So make sure you reach out to her, all of those that are in the literary field that you're trying to put your book out there. And then make sure that if you're a fan, it's a perfect gift for the person who does literary. You got a person that you know that writes, you're helping them. Help them by introducing them to this website and the creator, Debra Owsley. I can't thank you enough, sweetheart. Love you madly and hope to speak to you shortly, and everything else, I'll be in touch. Thank you so much. Thank you, audience.
Take
Have a good
care.
evening. Take care
Good
now.
night, everyone. Thanks.
You.